Church was the primary lender. Monarchs borrowed from the church to finance wars. By 1500, the Catholic Church owned 25% of all land in Europe, acquired largely through foreclosures on debts. The Medici family in Florence, 1400s, became the wealthiest family in Europe through lending. They lent to kings, popes, merchants. The interest income from lending exceeded the profit from any business. By 1450, the Medicis were so powerful they could install popes and influence kings. The Bank of England, created 1694, was the formalization of the debt wealth system. King William III needed $1.2 million to finance war. Parliament authorized the creation of a private bank that would lend the money to the government. The bank would receive interest paid by taxpayers, and it would have the exclusive right to issue currency. This was the blueprint. Create a private institution with government-granted monopoly on money creation. That institution lends to the government. Taxpayers pay interest to the private institution. The institution's shareholders become wealthy through perpetual interest income. The Rothschild family, 1800s, perfected the system. Mayer Amschel Rothschild had 5 sons. He sent them to 5 European capitals: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, Frankfurt. Each son established a bank. The family lent to every European government. After Waterloo in 1815, the Rothschilds held more government debt than any family in history. Nathan Rothschild in London famously said, "I care not what puppet is placed upon the throne of England. The man who controls Britain's money supply controls the British Empire, and I control the British money supply." By 1850, the Rothschild family held an estimated 50% of all government bonds in Europe. They collected interest from every major nation. The wealth they accumulated through lending exceeded the wealth of most nations. J.P. Morgan, early 1900s America, used the same model. Morgan lent to governments, railroads, industrial corporations. By 1912, Morgan controlled banks that held 25% of all financial assets in America. The pattern across 800 years is identical. Those who lend become wealthy. Those who borrow become dependent. The lenders accumulate wealth through interest income without producing anything. And the borrowers work and produce, but owe ever-increasing amounts. And the system is designed to ensure the debt can never be fully repaid. The mathematical trap is simple. When money is created through debt, only the principal is created, not the interest. This means there's always more debt than money. If the total money supply is $100 trillion, but total debt is $120 trillion, including interest owed, it's mathematically impossible to repay all debt. The only way to service existing debt is to create new debt. You borrow new money to pay the interest on old debt. This makes the total debt larger, requiring even more new borrowing. The debt grows exponentially. This is why global debt has grown from $40 trillion in 1990 to $317 trillion in 2025, a 7.9x increase in 35 years. The debt doubles approximately every 10 years. And it must keep growing because if new debt stops being created, there's no money to pay interest on existing debt, and the system collapses. The people who designed the system understood this. The Bank of England's founders in 1694 knew that once the government borrowed $1.2 million, it could never fully repay because the interest owed would exceed the money supply. This is not a flaw, this is the feature. Perpetual debt means perpetual interest income. And perpetual interest income means perpetual wealth transfer from borrowers to lenders. Now let me show you who benefits from this system in the modern economy. In 2024, global interest payments on the $317 trillion in debt were approximately $15 trillion. That's $15 trillion flowing from borrowers to lenders in a single year. Governments pay interest through taxes. The U.S. government pays $900 billion annually in interest on the $36 trillion national debt. That $900 billion comes from taxpayers. It goes to bondholders. Corporations pay interest through profit extraction. Corporations hold $90 trillion in debt globally. They pay approximately $5 trillion in interest annually. Where does that money come from? From the difference between what they pay workers and what they charge consumers. Households pay interest through wages. Households hold $60 trillion in debt globally. They pay approximately $3 trillion in interest annually. A family earning $70,000 per year, paying $15,000 in mortgage interest, $5,000 in other interest, sends 29% of their income to creditors. So the $15 trillion in annual interest payments flows from taxpayers, workers, and households upward to central banks, institutional investors, foreign governments, and wealthy individuals. The top 1% globally captures approximately 40% of the $15 trillion annual interest income. That's $6 trillion per year flowing to 80 million people. The top 0.1%